right, good evening. Wednesday, September 15th, 2021, Special Board of Education meeting. Governor Pritzker moved Illinois into Phase 5 related to the COVID-19 pandemic for all Illinois counties. In accordance with Board Policy 2.230, members of the public may provide public comment at the meeting. The public will be allocated up to 3 minutes per speaker. The board president has set up to 30 minutes as a length of time for the public comment section of the meeting. Board meetings continue to be live streamed for viewing on the district's website. Electronic public viewing can be found at Board Docs by clicking the video button. All right, it is 6:02 and we're in session. Could I have the roll call, please?
Mrs. Arvanites?
Here.
Mrs. Hostler?
Here.
Mrs. Stufen?
Here.
Mr. Collins? Absent. Mr. Kuczynski?
Here.
Mrs. Caforio?
Here.
Mrs. Troutman? Here.
Okay, 6 board members present, 1 absent. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Is there the public comment sheet? No, there's none. Okay. All right, so we have no public comment, so we can go on to agenda action items. We have one item, approve an agreement of interim executive director of communication and public relations. And I wanted, before Dr. Campbell gives just a little background on the interim, I just wanted to put out some information. We've had some questions and some information that we want to make sure is correct. So I just wanted to put a few facts out there. In District 205, we currently have 3 assistant superintendents and 1 associate superintendent. We have 18 district administrators supporting our 10,000 students and staff. Elmhurst District 205 is ranked is number 380 out of 385 unit districts in Illinois for administrative cost per pupil, as recorded by the Illinois State Board of Education for fiscal year 2020 annual financial report. And that report can be found at the Illinois State Board of Education website. Currently, the board has a contract with 1 consultant, Dr. Yankee, and Dr. Sanford, the interim teaching and learning consultant, resigned on Friday, August 27th from the contract with District 205. An administrative vacancy in our teaching and learning department still exists, and Dr. Campbell will continue to assess the needs of the district and propose staffing recommendations to the board to support forward movement and make substantial progress toward improving student success for all students. So I just wanted to get those facts out there. This sheet will be uploaded in Board Docs so that anyone can read it and the media can have it as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Campbell.
Thank you. I would like to recommend the hiring of an interim executive director of communications and public relations to the Board of Education. Due to the recent departure of our former executive director of communication and public relations, Ms. Redmond, on September 3rd, 2021, we would like to recommend Ms. Faith Baer as the interim executive director of communications and public relations. This recommendation will allow for us to complete a thorough search for a highly qualified permanent candidate for the role of Executive Director of Communications and Public Relations. In addition, this recommendation will allow us to support the daily communication needs of the superintendent, myself, as well as our entire D205 school community. Faith Baer has over 20 years of experience in communication field. She has successfully initiated robust communication programs for 2 large high school districts. Ms. Baer has presented on public relations, social media, and community engagement, at public relations and education communication organizations, including the National Public Relations Association and the National Association of School Boards. She has been awarded several top awards. The interim communication for school systems, she has served, as interim communication for school systems, including, but not limited to, Naperville, Hinsdale, Glenbrook, Glenview, as well as Downers Grove. Ms. Bear holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication from the University of Iowa in Iowa City. This contract will be up on your approval, will take place from now through December 22nd, but the agreement may be terminated at any time by either party. Her contract is to not exceed 375 hours and compensated at a rate of $120 an hour. She will not receive any other compensation, health insurance, sick leave, vacation, paid holidays, or any other benefits. Her work will include supporting the day-to-day operations, as well as advising the superintendent and administration team, crisis communication, as supervising the current communication staff.
I'll ask for motion, then if anybody has any questions or comments.
I move that the Board of Education approve the interim Executive Director of Communication and Public Relations Agreement as presented.
I'll second.
Any comments, questions? Oh, Karen, yep.
This is a critical position for us. So it's good that you're, getting your arms around, what specifically is needed for a long-term fill for this position. During my tenure, we added people to that staff because it was a understaffed organization for the needs of this large district from a public relations as well as communication standpoint. So I think it's really critical that we get the right person to backfill Bev. Not only from a, positive, what do I want to say? Communicating the positive things that are going on. As people can't get into the schools any longer, it's even more critical now. So that position is key. And I like the fact that we're taking our time to find the right person. And I hope that, there's a lot of people involved with that interview and selection process because, we have historical pieces that we want to make sure that we represent as we set expectations for this person and give them the historical background of what's important here for us, as well as to manage a staff now. And so, I'd like us to look at, what do we really want to do with that department while we have that opportunity? And how do we focus each one of the people and on what key objectives that we need? So I think that was important for us to share with the community and amongst ourselves.
I think we all, especially in COVID, communication is such a key component to the work and the community. So her experience is a benefit, definitely, till we can find the right person. Anything else? All right, you can call the vote then.
Mrs. Hassler,
Yes.
Mrs. Troutman,
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski,
Yes.
Mrs. Stufen,
Yes.
Mrs. Arvanitis,
Yes.
and Mrs. Caforio.
Yes, 6 ayes, no nays, 1 absent. The motion passes. All right, next is the board is going to go into closed session. So if I could have a motion for that.
I move that the Board of Education move into closed session to discuss the matters related to self-evaluation practices and procedures or professional ethics when meeting or representative of a statewide association of which the public body is a member, 5 ILCS 120-2C16.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, can you call the vote, please?
Mrs. Troutman,
Yes?
Mrs. Hassler,
Yes.
Mrs. Stufen,
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski,
Yes.
Mrs. Arvanitis,
Yes.
and Mrs. Caforio.
Yes, 6 ayes, no nays, motion passes. We have 3 upcoming meetings that I will go ahead and list. September 21st, 2021, regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting at 7 o'clock. October 5th, 2021, Finance and Operation Committee meeting at 5:30 here in District 205 Center. And October 12th, 2021, regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting here at District 205 Center at 7 o'clock. There will be no action taken. When the board comes out of closed session, we will just simply adjourn. Thank you.